Every life-changing opportunity, be it a business venture, a relationship, or a bold decision, lies just behind a door labeled fear. Unfortunately, many individuals never muster the courage to open this door. They hesitate, they wait, and they convince themselves, not yet. The reality, however, is that fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal indicating that you are on the brink of something significant. If you fail to act now, that fear escalates, becoming louder and more powerful, to the point where it controls your life. In a moment, you will discover how to break free from fear, even when every fiber of your being urges you to resist. Fear is fundamentally a self-imposed limitation, an illusion created by our minds. Understanding this pivotal truth opens the pathway to remarkable achievements. Fear exists solely in your imagination. It is an emotional response to events that have not occurred and may never happen. Reflect on this notion each time you confront your fears. You always emerge more resilient on the other side. Every single time. The successful individuals throughout history who attained greatness did not prevail because they felt no fear. They succeeded by taking action despite their fears. Take Andrew Carnegie, for instance, who rose from impoverished beginnings to become one of the wealthiest industrialists in America. Did he experience fear? Absolutely. However, he recognized fear as a signal to prepare, rather than a command to retreat. You must cultivate the same mindset. When fear arises within you, see it as a signpost directing you toward your next breakthrough. Your mind functions much like a garden. If you plant seeds of fear and doubt, those will proliferate. Alternatively, if you cultivate seeds of courage and determination, those qualities will flourish instead. The choice entirely resides with you. In this moment, you have the power to redefine your relationship with fear, perceiving it not as an adversary, but as your compass, indicating areas where profound growth is possible. The transformation of your identity, this shift toward becoming fearless, occurs the instant you grasp this truth. When you transform your essence at the core, fear dissipates. Forget conventional wisdom about overcoming fear with techniques and strategies. These are mere band-aids for deeper issues. The true secret, the transformative force that will elevate you beyond limitations, lies in who you become. When you embrace a new identity, what once paralyzed you will transform into ordinary milestones on your journey to greatness. Thomas Edison did not expend energy managing his fear of failure. He transcended it by redefining himself as a relentless innovator. When asked about his numerous attempts to create the light bulb, he did not perceive failure. Instead, he recognized the elimination of unworkable approaches. His identity was not shackled to immediate outcomes, but rather to persistent exploration. This essential shift in your identity demands the same bravery. Ask yourself this crucial question that can alter everything. Who must I become to make my dreams inevitable? This is not mere idle philosophy. It is one of the most practical inquiries you will ever contemplate. If establishing a thriving enterprise is your ambition, you must evolve into a person who regards obstacles as temporary challenges rather than permanent barriers. Someone who views rejection not as defeat, but as redirection towards something superior. Someone who comprehends that sustained action will invariably triumph over mere raw talent. This identity transformation cannot be achieved through wishful thinking or empty affirmations. It requires purposeful, consistent action that daily reinforces your new self-image. When you conduct yourself in alignment with your new identity, your subconscious mind must align itself accordingly. Henry Ford succinctly articulated this principle: whether you believe you can or believe you cannot, you are correct. This profound insight illustrates the remarkable power of your self-concept. Your identity, who you perceive yourself to be, determines what is possible in your life to a greater extent than any external circumstances ever could. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is not mystical. It is the practical implementation of identity transformation. When your mind fully embraces a new self-concept, it coordinates your actions, decisions, and reactions to align with that vision. When you declare, "I am the kind of person who pushes through fear," You are not merely reciting empty phrases. You are issuing a command to your subconscious mind that fundamentally reshapes your approach to every challenge you encounter. The beauty of this strategy lies in its simplicity. You do not require elaborate techniques to conquer fear. You need only a single, powerful a powerful shift in the way you perceive yourself. When your identity transforms, your behaviors will naturally follow suit. What once appeared unattainable will become your new standard. Imagine standing at the boundary of your comfort zone. The old version of you experiences fear, while the new version, the identity you are transitioning into, feels exhilaration. The same circumstance incites a radically diverse response. This encapsulates the essence of personal transformation, not altering your actions, but reshaping your identity. When you embody a persona that thrives amid uncertainty, embraces challenges, and perceives obstacles as opportunities for growth, fear loses its grip on you permanently. This new identity is not waiting for you in some distant future. It is available to you right now if you choose to claim it. Make the decision today to become the individual for whom your dreams are not merely possible, but inevitable. This is your moment. Step into the identity that makes fear irrelevant to your journey. The world awaits the unstoppable force you are on the verge of becoming. Now consider the compound effect of courageous action. Make no mistake, courage is not your birthright, it is a deliberate creation. Each time you confront your fears, you are not only surviving the moment, you are making a powerful deposit into your courage account that accrues compounding interest. This creates an unstoppable force that will fuel your extraordinary future. This principle distinguishes champions from spectators, legends from the forgotten. When Ray Kroc first glimpsed that small McDonald's restaurant in San Bernardino, he did not see what was. He envisioned what could be. Did uncertainty grip him? Absolutely. Did fear whisper all the reasons he might fail? Without a doubt. Yet Kroc was not paralyzed by these voices. He was propelled forward by an unwavering commitment to his vision. He did not leap recklessly into the unknown. He took one brave step, followed by another, and then another. Each small victory built upon the last, generating momentum so formidable that it transformed not just his life, but the global business landscape. The same principle awaits your activation in your life right now. Your journey to greatness commences with small acts of courage today. Engage in that difficult conversation you have been avoiding. Speak your truth in that meeting where you typically remain silent. Take that action that terrifies you. These are not minor steps. They're deposits of courage silently constructing a resilient foundation for your extraordinary future. When you consistently opt for courage over comfort, something miraculous occurs. Your capacity for action expands. What once appeared impossible becomes simply challenging. What was previously challenging transforms into routine. This is the full force of the courage compound effect, tirelessly working in your favor. Here is a game-changing truth that will revolutionize how you confront challenges forever. Fear and excitement elicit identical physiological responses in your body, such as a racing heart, an energy surge, and heightened awareness. These are not signs to retreat. They are indicators that you are alive, engaged, and positioned for breakthroughs. The only distinction between paralysis and power is your interpretation of these sensations. Champions train themselves to view these physiological responses as confirmations of their growth, rather than warnings of danger. This subtle shift alters everything. When you reframe these signals as proof that you are growing, becoming more today than you were yesterday, what once frightened you transforms into the very fuel that drives you toward your greatest accomplishments. This is not merely positive thinking. It is a strategic mental program that rewires your nervous system for success. Your courage account is not established through sporadic, bold actions, but through daily, consistent deposits, which may appear small at first, yet yield extraordinary returns over time. Each time you select action over avoidance, progress over perfection, and growth over comfort, you are not merely altering your circumstances. You are fundamentally reshaping who you are. Remember that the heroes you admire were not born with overwhelming courage. They cultivated it through the same process available to you today. They simply made more consistent deposits over time. Their courage compound effect reached tipping points that appeared to the outside world as overnight success. At this very moment, you find yourself at a critical decision point. Will you make another deposit? Will you take that courageous action that your future self will thank you for? Will you choose the momentary discomfort that leads to enduring transformation? Your courage account is ready for your next deposit. Act now, watch it compound, and prepare for the extraordinary life that is destined to follow. When you master the courage compound effect, the world is poised to experience the unleashed power that resides within you. All it takes is that next courageous step, the liberation of failure. Right now, you stand at the threshold of your greatest breakthrough. What holds you back? That prison you have built in your mind, crafted brick by brick from the fear of failure. However, I am about to provide you with the key to shatter those walls forever. Here is the liberating truth that will transform your perception. Failure is not final. It is formative. When this principle ignites your consciousness, you will find yourself taking bold, decisive action devoid of the paralyzing hesitation that has kept you confined to a small existence. Consider Colonel Harlan Sanders, whose story isn't just inspirational, it serves as a blueprint for your own unstoppable success. Picture this: over 1,000 rejections, 1,000 doors slammed in his face, before someone finally recognized the value of his chicken recipe. Was each rejection truly a failure? Only if he chose to interpret them as such. Instead, Sanders made a decision that distinguished him from average thinkers. He viewed each no as a necessary step that brought him one thunderous stride closer to the inevitable world-changing yes. This is not positive thinking. It is strategic mental positioning you must adopt starting today. If you are serious about achieving breakthroughs, understand that your setbacks are not roadblocks. They are redirections towards something greater. When Thomas Edison's light bulb experiments failed thousands of times, he did not view it as evidence of incompetency or inadequacy. Instead, he recognized these not as failures at all, but as essential processes that eliminated approaches leading to extraordinary innovations that changed human civilization forever. This is your moment to internalize this game-changing truth. Every setback you have faced contains the precious seeds of eventual triumph. Those seeds await you to nurture them with your renewed perspective and unwavering commitment to growth. Observe the Titans, who have reshaped our world. They encountered failure more frequently, more publicly, and more spectacularly than average individuals would ever dare. The difference? They refused to let those failures define their identity or shape their destiny. These extraordinary achievers understood a profound truth that must evolve into your operational mindset. Stumbling is not the opposite of success. It is a vital component of it. Without those stumbles, you remain untested, undeveloped, and ultimately unfulfilled. When you fully embrace this perspective, something miraculous occurs. You liberate yourself from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism that keeps so many talented individuals stuck in perpetual preparation mode. You move forward with unstoppable momentum, knowing that each mistake carries valuable lessons that propels you toward mastery. Your failures are not your adversaries. They are your greatest teachers. Starting now, declare, I no longer fear failure because I understand its true purpose in my journey. Feel the liberation in these words. Experience the chains of hesitation falling away as you step into a new relationship with challenges and setbacks. The path to extraordinary achievement does not involve avoiding failure. It necessitates redefined perceptions of it. It is about transforming what many view as defeat into the personal data for your development. When you adopt this mental shift, you do not simply overcome obstacles. You actively seek them out as opportunities to strengthen your resilience and enhance your skills. Your next failure does not wait to defeat you. It is prepared to define your greatness, if only you allow it. The real question is not whether you will face setbacks, but who you will become through them. The door to your breakthrough stands before you. Will you allow the fear of failure to keep it locked? Or will you use the key of redefinition to swing it open and boldly step into the extraordinary life awaiting you? The choice is yours. The time is now. Your breakthrough will begin with your very next failure and how you choose to harness its power. Fail forward, rise stronger, and become unstoppable. Now, let us explore the power of decisive action. While the world waits, you must act right now as you read these words. Countless opportunities are vanishing around you. Why? Because indecision, the silent assassin of dreams, is systematically robbing you of what could have been yours. This observation is not casual. It defines the difference between those who reshape industries and those who merely survive in them. Understand this truth. Decisiveness is not just a trait of success. It is success in its embryonic form. Conrad Hilton stood on the brink of what appeared to be financial suicide in a nation sinking into economic depression. Expert voices thundered warnings of imminent disaster, while his friends urged caution. Yet, amid this storm of uncertainty, Hilton perceived what the hesitant could not. Perfect conditions are an illusion that shackles ordinary minds to mediocrity. When he decisively purchased his first hotel against conventional wisdom, he was not merely acquiring property. He was declaring war on average thinking. While others retreated, paralyzed by uncertainty, Hilton advanced and built an empire that would outlast generations. This is your moment to forge a similarly decisive mindset. Yes, analyze. Yes, gather information. But then decide with absolute conviction. The universe yields to committed action in a manner it never will to endless contemplation. When you compel yourself to make decisions swiftly and stand steadfastly behind them, you generate momentum so powerful it obliterates obstacles that would stop more hesitant souls. Aristotle Onassis, who transformed himself from a penniless immigrant into a shipping magnate, revealed that the secret to business lies in knowing something that nobody else knows. Yet, herein lies the understanding that most overlook: that exclusive knowledge is worthless unless acted upon swiftly and decisively. Your greatest advantage is not your intelligence, experience, or even your resources. It is your willingness to strike like lightning when opportunity arises, while your competitors remain frozen in the paralysis of analysis. This is how you seize your extraordinary life. Reflect on the decisions you've been postponing, the business you have been meaning to launch, the conversation you know you need to initiate, or the investment you have researched for months. These are not just items on your to-do list. They are the very battleground where your future is being determined right now. By developing the muscle of decisive action, you do not simply solve problems. You eliminate entire categories of problems that plague the indecisive. You do not merely seize opportunities, you become a living, breathing magnet for opportunities because the universe acknowledges and rewards definiteness of purpose. Make this your unbreakable commitment starting today. I will decide quickly and change my mind slowly. Observe the impact when you adhere to this code. Feel the surge of power as you respond to challenges, not with, "let me think about it," but with, "here is what we will do." Experience the respect you command when you speak and act with the confidence that only decisive clarity can provide. The world does not reward those with the most knowledge. It rewards those who act most decisively on what they understand. Your resources might be limited, your connections few. But when you combine decisive action with unwavering commitment, you awaken forces that will push you ahead of competitors with far greater resources but less resolute minds. Your destiny is forged in moments of decision, not next week, not when conditions are favorable, but now. While others contemplate, you will decide. While others wait, you will act. While others hope, you will create certainty through the sheer power of your committed action. This is your competitive edge. This is the legacy you are crafting. Decide, commit, act, and triumph. Now let us discuss the discipline of focus. Your mind is the battleground where your future is determined right now. Make no mistake, your life is moving with unstoppable momentum in the precise direction of your dominant thoughts. This is not wishful thinking or mystical philosophy. It is the raw, unfiltered truth regarding how your brain's reticular activating system filters reality to affirm your deepest beliefs. When you allow fear to dominate your mental landscape, you are not merely experiencing anxiety. You are programming your mind to seek evidence that confirms those fears. However, if you flip this script, you unleash a power that will transform everything. Paul Getty, who built one of history's greatest fortunes, was not merely lucky. When economic disasters drove others into spirals of panic, Getty maintained an unwavering focus that seemed almost superhuman. While others fixated on what they might lose, Getty trained his mind with iron discipline to detect opportunities that remained entirely invisible to those paralyzed by fear. This is the mental discipline you must cultivate starting today. Your mind is the most sophisticated targeting system ever devised. Whatever you concentrate on expands, intensifies, and ultimately materializes into your reality. This is not a feel-good notion. It is the practical application of your brain's inherent functionality. When fear arises, and it will, you must immediately redirect your focus toward what you desire rather than what you dread. This singular mental shift distinguishes extraordinary achievers from those who merely survive. Transform the nature of your mental inquiries, and you transform your entire life. Instead of asking, "What if everything falls apart?" shift to, "How can I turn this situation into my greatest breakthrough?" Rather than questioning, "Why is this happening to me?" demand of yourself, "What is this challenge preparing me for?" Instead of fearing, "What if I am not good enough?" ask yourself, "How can I bring even more value than anyone anticipates?" The quality of your life directly reflects the quality of questions you consistently ask yourself. Look around at those who have achieved extraordinary results. They are not necessarily the most talented, the most connected, or the most privileged. They are the most focused. They have honed the mental discipline necessary to eliminate distractions and concentrate their energy like a laser beam targeting their highest priorities. In a world designed to splinter your attention into 1,000 fragments, this disciplined focus becomes your ultimate competitive advantage. When others are distracted by the latest crisis, the newest outrage, and the endless tide of negativity, your focused mind becomes an unstoppable force, creating precisely what you have programmed it to achieve. This is not merely motivation. It is the strategic mental approach at the highest level. Starting right now, make this non-negotiable commitment. I will guard my mental focus with fierce determination. I will direct my thoughts towards solutions, opportunities, and growth. Regardless of surrounding circumstances, feel the power of that decision. When you compel yourself to maintain disciplined focus despite the tempting pull of fear and doubt, you generate momentum so potent that it will smash through obstacles that halt others in their tracks. Your mind awaits clear instructions. Will you program it for fear or for possibility? Will you train it to recognize disasters or opportunities? Will you use its incredible capacity to fabricate excuses or breakthroughs? The decision is yours. This must be made consciously each day, each hour. Focus determines reality. Your thoughts materialize into tangible outcomes. Your dominant mental patterns are actively crafting your future with unyielding precision. Choose wisely, focus deliberately, and become unstoppable. Your extraordinary life is waiting. Now let us consider the strategic use of discomfort. Discomfort is not the enemy, it is the entrance. Right now, at this very moment, you find yourself at a crucial crossroads. One path is smooth, familiar, and alluringly easy. It leads to mediocrity. The other path is rugged, challenging, and gloriously difficult. It leads to greatness. The choice you make at this moment will dictate everything that follows. Understand this essential truth. Your nervous system operates on ancient programming designed to seek pleasure and avoid pain at all costs. This biological wiring served your ancestors well when survival meant conserving energy and evading threats. Yet in today's world, this identical programming becomes the invisible prison that keeps you confined in comfortable mediocrity. Your comfort zone is merely a beautifully decorated cell. Muhammad Ali, the greatest champion in history, did he float like a butterfly during effortless training sessions? Absolutely not. Ali's raw honesty reveals the universal truth about transformation. I hated every minute of training, but I said to myself, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. This principle applies not only to boxing legends, it encompasses the fundamental equation of all human growth. Temporary discomfort coupled with consistent action equals a lasting expansion of your capabilities. The fire that forges you must first make you uncomfortable. Starting today, you must rewire your relationship with discomfort. Begin each morning by intentionally engaging in activities that make you uncomfortable. Make that intimidating call you have been putting off first, not as an afterthought. Tackle your most challenging project when your energy is at its peak, not when you are depleted. Speak the truth that needs to be articulated the instant the impulse strikes, not after you have rationalized your silence. This is not random suffering, it is strategic discomfort. Each time you opt for the harder path, you are literally recalibrating your neurological threshold for stress. What once triggered panic gradually shifts into manageable tension. What once appeared impossible slowly becomes your new normal. Your growth zone exists precisely where your comfort zone concludes. Visualize yourself as steel undergoing forging. The raw material holds potential, but without the transformative heat of the forge, that intense zone of discomfort, it remains ordinary and unremarkable. When exposed to temperatures that could obliterate lesser materials, that same steel becomes extraordinary, stronger, more resilient, and infinitely more valuable. You are that steel. Your forge is strategic discomfort. The scientific truth is irrefutable. Growth occurs at the boundary of your abilities, in that magical space where you are stretched yet not broken. The muscle that develops is not the one used for routine tasks, but the one pushed to temporary failure. The mind that expands is not the one that processes familiar information, but the one that grapples with challenging concepts. What terrifies you today will empower you tomorrow. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, reflecting on the person you were today. Will that future self express gratitude for choosing comfort, or will they celebrate your courage in embracing necessary discomfort? The answer shapes your destiny. Elite performers across every field grasp what average minds resist. Discomfort is not something to evade, it is something to pursue with strategic intent. They have discovered that systematically seeking calculated challenges spawns unstoppable momentum toward mastery. This strategic use of discomfort, training yourself to run toward fear instead of away from it, becomes your expedited path to extraordinary achievement. While others languish in the confines of comfort, you will exponentially expand your abilities. Your transformation begins with this decision: comfort or greatness. You cannot have both. This is non-negotiable truth that most will never accept. Starting today, declare, I choose growth over comfort. I choose expansion over security. I choose greatness over mediocrity. Feel the power in that declaration. Let it permeate every cell of your being. Then take that first uncomfortable action. Make that call, initiate that conversation, commence that project, and experience the exhilaration of breaking free from comfort's golden shackles. Your greatest life exists on the other side of discomfort. The champions before you have demonstrated this path. Now it is your turn to embrace the discomfort that will forge your extraordinary future. Which will you choose today? Comfort or greatness? The decision is yours. Now let us discuss the Mastermind Alliance. Alone, you are powerful. Together, you are unstoppable. At this very moment, your greatest dreams await you on the other side of fears you are attempting to conquer by yourself. This critical oversight traps even the most gifted individuals in mediocrity. No significant achievement in history has ever occurred in isolation. When you strategically surround yourself with individuals who elevate your thinking, challenge your limitations, and refuse to let you settle, something magical happens. Your capacity to push through fear does not merely increase, it multiplies exponentially. This is the untapped power of the Mastermind Alliance. Andrew Carnegie, a man who built one of the greatest fortunes in history, did so not through isolated genius, but by profoundly understanding the power of collaboration. When asked about the source of his extraordinary success, Carnegie did not attribute it to his own brilliance, but instead revealed the secret weapon that distinguished him from all competitors: his ability to identify and enlist individuals possessing the qualities that he lacked. This was not simple delegation. It was transformation through strategic alliances. You must adopt this blueprint for overcoming your fears. Starting today, identify those rare individuals whose strengths align with your weaknesses, whose courage naturally inspires your own, and whose vision broadens what you deem possible. These individuals are not merely friends or colleagues. They are the architects of your expanded capabilities. Create or join a mastermind group where your most ambitious dreams are not only welcomed, but expected. Where your fears are acknowledged, but never indulged. Where your excuses are recognized for what they truly are. Temporary narratives with no place in your extraordinary future. Meet regularly in a culture of absolute honesty and mutual commitment. Share your challenges without hesitation. Exchange ideas devoid of ego, and hold each other accountable without compromise. The vitality generated within these alliances defies conventional explanation. Collective intelligence exponentially more potent than any individual contribution. When fear arises, your mastermind alliance becomes your unshakable lifeline. Picture this. You find yourself teetering on the edge of a significant decision, paralyzed by the fear of potential consequences. Alone, this fear could derail weeks of progress. Within your mastermind alliance, however, the same fear is surrendered to strategic caution. Their perspectives enable you to instantly discern between genuine concerns and irrational fears that exist solely in your imagination. Their encouragement not only alleviates your anxiety, but also reconnects you with the strengths you may have overlooked in moments of doubt. Their victories illuminate what is possible when fear is confronted rather than avoided. Thus, the journey that initially seemed impossible alone becomes inevitable when undertaken alongside committed allies who refuse to allow you to settle for anything less than your true potential. This is how you transform your relationship with fear forever. History's most successful individuals understood that personal development is not a solitary endeavor. They forged powerful alliances that ignited their individual flames into roaring fires that consumed limitations and illuminated new possibilities. You are not designed to conquer fear alone. Human psychology is wired for connection, synergy, and the exponential strength attained through strategic alliances with those equally committed to greatness. Make this commitment today. I will no longer face my fears in isolation. I will forge alliances that enhance my capabilities and accelerate my breakthroughs. Feel the liberation in that decision. Experience the weightlifting as you realize you do not need to have all the answers alone. Feel your capacity grow as you tap into the collective wisdom, courage, and determination of your carefully selected mastermind. The fears that have imprisoned you are about to face an unstoppable force, the power of a mastermind alliance dedicated to your extraordinary success. Your breakthrough is imminent, and your mastermind makes it inevitable. You stand right now at the threshold of transformation. The vision compelling your greatest life exists beyond your most significant fear. At this moment, what separates you from the extraordinary life calling your name is not skill, resources, or connections. It is the magnetic pull of a vision so captivating that it renders fear irrelevant. When your vision burns with sufficient intensity, fear no longer controls your decisions. This is not positive thinking. It is the psychological leverage that has converted ordinary individuals into world changers throughout history. Vision does not merely inspire action, it demands it. Walt Disney, a man who faced crippling bankruptcy, relentless rejection, and the crushing weight of doubt from those surrounding him, what force could possibly propel a person through such overwhelming resistance? A vision of creating magical experiences for families so vivid and compelling that surrender became more painful than persistence. This was not merely a goal, it was destiny calling. That same transformative power is available to you as well. Your vision must become your obsession. Starting today, carve out sacred time and quiet contemplation to connect with your most profound aspirations, not the goals society has conditioned you to chase, nor the achievements others expect, but the vision that ignites your heart when you dare to fully realize it. This is not a casual exercise. It is the creation of your personal North Star. Record this vision in vivid detail, engaging every sense. What will you see when this vision materializes? What sounds will resonate in your ears in this realized future? What emotions will course through your body? Whose lives will be transformed by your courage? How will your world fundamentally change? When you cultivate this vision with sufficient emotional intensity, your brain generates a psychological tension that can only be resolved by pursuing its realization. This is not mystical. It is the practical implementation of your mind's reticular activating system, which begins to search for opportunities that were previously hidden from you. Fear does not disappear, it becomes irrelevant. Visualize a mother whose child is trapped in a burning building. Does she calculate the risks? Does she wait for courage? Does she hesitate because of fear? Absolutely not. She acts with decisive bravery, for the alternative of inaction is unthinkable. Your vision must induce this same psychological imperative. When your vision reaches a certain level of emotional intensity, fear still manifests, but it takes a back seat to the gravitational pull of your destiny. You will find yourself taking actions that once felt impossible because that destination has become non-negotiable. The pain of regret will exceed the discomfort of growth. This is how you transcend ordinary existence. Your compelling vision, revisited daily and felt on an emotional level, rather than just understood intellectually, becomes the irresistible force pulling you through barriers that previously seemed impenetrable. Like a magnet extracting metal from sand, it differentiates between what matters and what merely distracts. Imagine yourself a year from today. Will you be celebrating the courage that transformed your life, or lamenting another year defined by fear's constraints? The answer hinges entirely on the vision you craft and emotionally connect with today. Make this declaration your personal power statement. My vision pulls me forward with such magnetic force that fear becomes mere background noise on my journey to greatness. Feel the liberation in that declaration. Experience the shift from resisting fear to being drawn by possibility. This single transformation, from fear-centric to vision-driven, will fundamentally alter your approach to challenges. The most extraordinary achievers throughout history were not without fear. They were purposeful. Their vision became so compelling that everything else, including their fears, receded into the background of their magnificent obsession. Your extraordinary life awaits your extraordinary vision. The fears that have constrained you are about to encounter an irresistible force, the magnetic power of a vision that is worthy of your one precious life. Create it, feel it, and live it. Watch as it transforms not just what you do, but who you become. Your destiny is calling. Answer with a vision that casts aside fear. Now consider the legacy mindset. 100 years from now, what will remain of your time on Earth? Let this question penetrate your soul. Feel its weight, its power, its ability to instantly alter how you view every challenge before you. This perspective, the legacy mindset, is not just another way of thinking. It is the ultimate fear destroyer, expanding your vision beyond today's temporary discomforts to the immortal impact your life will have across generations. Your greatest fears diminish in magnitude when your vision expands. John D. Rockefeller, a man who could have succumbed to the relentless pursuit of wealth and power, derived his deepest fulfillment not from accumulation, but from contribution, establishing foundations that continue to transform lives decades after his physical presence faded away. This was not solely philanthropy. It epitomized legacy thinking in its most profound form. The moment Rockefeller transitioned from seeking immediate gratification to pursuing generational impact, his entire relationship with risk and reward transformed. What might have overwhelmed others became simply temporary obstacles on his journey to create something that would persist beyond his lifetime. This same transformative power is poised for activation in your life. Starting today, ask yourself this soul-stirring question: what contribution am I uniquely positioned to offer? Not what will yield immediate comfort or recognition, but what work would deem your life a worthy link in the uninterrupted chain of human progress. This does not revolve around ego or accomplishment. It centers on contribution at the deepest level. When you connect with this purpose and feel it in the marrow of your being, fears that once paralyzed you are suddenly revealed for what they are: trivial distractions diverting you from your more meaningful work in the world. Your legacy is not forged in grand gestures. It is constructed through daily decisions. The legacy mindset does not require massive wealth or global influence. It simply involves living each day acutely aware of the ripple effects of your choices through time. The courage you enact when pushing through fears does not only enhance your own life, it illuminates possibilities for others. The challenges you surmount today carve pathways others will traverse tomorrow. The fears you conquer become sources of inspiration for everyone whose lives you touch. In this sense, Forcing yourself to confront fear is not merely about personal achievement. It becomes your most significant contribution to the human narrative. You are not merely transforming your life, you are redefining what is possible. Imagine your great-grandchildren recounting the story of your life. What courage will they attribute to you? What obstacles will they say you overcame? What example will they reference as evidence of possibility in their own lives? Their narrative about you is being crafted by your choices today, especially by the decisions made while facing fear. Fear knocked at the door. Faith answered. No one was there. This timeless wisdom conveys the essential truth you uncover every time you compel yourself to confront fear. Most of what terrifies you exists only in your imagination, and it dissolves the instant you take decisive action. The regrets haunting individuals in their final moments rarely revolve around failures. They are predominantly centered on risks never taken, courage never summoned, and contributions never made. They mourn the legacy that could have been if only they had pushed through fear rather than allowing fear to govern their lives. Your legacy is beckoning you forward right now. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? It is leading you toward that challenging conversation you have been avoiding. It is urging you toward that bold move you know you must take. It is compelling you to create that work that only you can introduce to the world. Make this declaration your battle cry. I refuse to let temporary fear rob the world of my permanent contribution. Feel the power in those words. Acknowledge how they instantly transform your relationship with the challenges before you. Recognize how they expand your vision beyond immediate comfort toward lasting impact. The greatest leaders, innovators, and changemakers throughout history were not fearless. They were legacy-minded. They transcended their immediate circumstances, envisioning their place within the broader human story. Your destiny awaits on the other side of fear. Step through it now, not just for yourself, but for everyone whose courage you will inspire for generations to come. Your immortal impact begins with this single courageous step.